Hi, thanks for having me. My name's Kate, and I'm a child and adolescent psychologist based in Amsterdam. I've been here in the Netherlands for 10 years, though I've lived in Washington, D.C., and I am originally from the New York, Hudson Valley area. I have the coolest job in the world. As a child and adolescent psychologist specializing in working with TCKs from all backgrounds and all ages, I have the privilege of spending time with, talking with, and playing with TCKs all day long, and I get to bring my dog to work. In the time I spend with TCKs, I'm constantly learning from them, learning about what it's like to grow up as global citizens, and it's always really inspiring to learn about their ability to kind of see opportunities for positive growth in their lives and in society. One really awesome part of my work is that I use mindfulness-based approaches with the kids that I see, including meditation practices, and I get to share the sort of insights and just experiences that develop from practicing being present with them. One thing is really for sure is that these kids are important young people, and I am probably the most grateful for how by just being present with them, they constantly are reminding me about practicing my own self-care and self-compassion. They might not actually realize that they're guiding me in that direction, and they probably think I'm there to do that for them. But between you and me, that's exactly what they're doing. So it's I'm pretty confidently able to say that I'm quite lucky in this work. So let me tell you more about how TCKs remind me to take care of myself. Okay, you come to a psychologist for support, right? And my job is to kind of look at the situation, make some general observations, reflect on goals, and then ideally provide some coping tools and strategies to alleviate suffering, right? This is sort of, the key objectives for what I'm thinking about when I plan sessions, write feedback, share reports, briefs, all that kind of thing. But what a lot of people might not know, and something that took me some years of experience to really learn and embody, is that supporting somebody else really most effectively begins with checking in on yourself. So recognizing, what's going on with you and your own motivations for wanting to help somebody in the first place. What are those kinds of intentions that are there? This kind of self-exploration can sometimes feel a little bit like opening Pandora's box, especially on a rough day. But what I've learned is that an extreme sort of dedication to doing this, it's really, a practice of seeing things as they are, what some people might call that kind of isness of being. This really leads to the good stuff in life. So let me explain that a little bit. It's one thing to see things as they are and with open eyes, but you might see something you don't like, right? So it's another step to work towards accepting what you see. And in doing so comes this kind of sweet spot. It's kind of like turning that radio channel to the right frequency. And my experience is that in doing so, you end up seeing something that is there all along. Something really awesome, something really beautiful and loving. From this place of open acceptance, there's this inherent compassion that's already there. So it's compassion towards other people. So, being able to understand, take perspective for somebody, but also that compassion, that self-compassion directed inwardly towards yourself. So again, the compassion towards others, it's that place from which you're able to listen to others and communicate with others, even those who might challenge us. And it's that place where, as leaders, we can lead from the heart. And again, most importantly, it's that place where we can be kind to ourselves. So where I can forgive myself for shortcomings, where I can see how mistakes have really been learning opportunities, where I can love my body, my mind, exactly as it is, and take note of how it's there. I am here because I'm a piece of the puzzle of the global context for what it is to be human. And that's where I get looped back into the TCK world because, we're also connected, just like TCKs who have these vast networks across the globe. These kids are the upcoming leaders, right? With the skills that they have, the resilience, the passion, the ability to face challenges with lots of positive energy. And it comes full circle working with them because it reminds me about taking care of myself and being attuned to myself. And from that place, I can better serve them, right? And share this insight with them, coming from a place of my own sort of acceptance and self-compassion. So, in other words, or to summarize, I guess, the TCKs help me make myself, and therefore by proxy them and the networks and the communities and the globe better. And I think TCKs can help all of us tap into this sort of global citizenship, to take responsibility for one another, because really, if you just it doesn't take that much effort to just be present with TCKs. Open your eyes and see how, when you stop to recognize, you can literally see all of the wonder that they encompass. As one person I recently talked with said, TCKs sort of are amazingly everything, right? They are all aspects of what it is to be human. And remind us about how we're all connected in that commonality. So being a global citizen really means recognizing and remembering what we inherently already know, which is that I am not me, but rather a part of the we. And the self-care, the self-compassion ripple effects that we can pass along for one another can have a really profound positive impact on our society. So in case you couldn't tell, I'm really passionate about sharing this message with the kids that I work with and anyone who will listen. But especially, if these kids can take that kind of insight, that compassionate stance into their far reaches, we know these kids are going to go on and be our leaders more often than not. So think about the positive impact that they can make. And maybe one of the almost close second awesome parts of all this is that you can get in on all this right now. So here's how. You check in with yourself, right? So forget about that thinking mind that's doing its thing all the time. See if you can just let your 5 senses guide you. So you're listening to sounds that you hear. You're looking around at where you are and seeing if you maybe notice something you didn't see before. Maybe just taking note of what your breath is doing right now, what it's like to be breathing. Maybe you're dropping your awareness into anything you smell or anything you can feel physically. Right? Maybe what it's like to be wearing shoes or socks right now, or maybe what it's like to be resting your elbows on a desk or on a table. Right? So right now you can kind of tune into what's going on. You can be present with your experiences right now. And sooner or later, the thinking mind is going to come back in if it hasn't already. And it's going to try to make sense of these experiences. And so I dare you to tell me that when you've really stopped, when you've really tuned in and become present with what's going on, that you can't see the beauty and the love that's already there. So really, I dare you to tell me that you don't see it.